come onto Hanamura, Hong Kong Attitude might just be about to punch their ticket to a grand final and get further than they ever had before. The oldest team in the region.
Quite literally as well, because Perfect's playing Doomfist again. It's Hanamura, it's good for him. It's good for the Doomfist. And for PHOENiX, got to stay true on the 3-3. Ryan goes, eyes on CQB.
I do like this, trying to get the isolation using the Lucio. Any displacement will do. They do find Power Wu, and now they move forward, get in their extra damage, get some more charge up some ultimates, all that good stuff. PHOENiX are going to take that one on the chin.
It's just love taps as well, feeling out the temperature of the water, and so far it's heating up for Hong Kong Attitude. PHOENiX, however, though, just have to back up, already losing nearly 40 seconds. Not a lot of ult charge for them. However, on the side of Hong Kong Attitude, look at it take.
We're going to do the same thing once again. Ilsubi's kind of got to play point guard up on the top of this door against CQB, who's looking for bumps like that to isolate Melon, who's now trying to charge back into the safety of his team. It doesn't work, though. A Ting ends up getting picked. They didn't get the isolation on Melon that they thought they had. Turns out you're locked in here with me. And now PHOENiX just absolutely whitewashing Hong Kong Attitude on the point. Shailin going to drop as well, and the only thing to stop that from being a team kill is a Ting respawned before the last man died.
You can see there as well, the missed punch from Perfect onto Melon does not secure that kill. If he does land that punch, likely they do manage to get that one, and Hong Kong Attitude are not so far behind, and they do have a position where they can win. PHOENiX, however, capitalized on the fact that Melon stayed alive, Hong Kong Attitude overstepped, and then PHOENiX cleaned up the kills.
PHOENiX are close-ish to some high-impact ultimates, but Hong Kong Attitude a bit closer, and that's an early pick that has already knocked Pixie out of the fight. The only tool that PHOENiX really had, the Transcendence that could have had them surviving a Ting's inevitable Earth Shatter, but none of that's going to be necessary. PHOENiX have had to take a dive. Hong Kong Attitude gets some late picks, and they've charged up some very critical ultimates.
You got to really credit CQB here as well on this defense so far, and indeed across the other maps. You see the positions, he's able to get these sound wave boobs in there, dislodging a lot of key PHOENiX members, and when you are playing a more traditional go-to, you're playing the Ryan version, you need to be sticking close together. If members are too far away from the other ones, suddenly things go very poorly for that composition.
Now it's going to be on PHOENiX to try and whittle down this ultimate lead. That's going to be the first one out the grab. Largely countered by Pixie, but they don't quite save the other support in the LCB. Their counter grab comes in. They get Perfect, but that's 2 ultimates committed. Just getting the 1 kill.
Watch the Shatters.
Aren't at a numbers advantage. The Shatter's going to isolate and pick off Vendetta. PHOENiX, this is kind of over, right? I'm a little disappointed to see the ultimates committed in there, but at any rate, good hold again by Hong Kong Attitude.
And Hong Kong Attitude as well, just cleaning up a lot of members here. Perfect was the only one that actually went down. Going on to the May, at least for now. Might swap back to the Doomfist, depending on how he feels. And PHOENiX as well want to answer that Ho Jin Ho is going to go on to his own May. So both teams identifying that there are Rhine Goats on the other side, and identifying that a key pick here is probably the May with that ice wall to really open up this point, or to close the point.
And it's interesting, this in one regard works better for Perfect because you isolate someone like Melon, but actually Ho Jin Ho makes it a little bit safer. Makes it harder for them to get cut off. You can block Perfect's sightline, and that's what's happened here. PHOENiX is able to get in. The Shatter, very unfortunate. There was no one for them to really catch. The grab out from BK up against the wall that Ho Jin Ho placed as well. So unfortunate. Actually blocks PHOENiX's sightlines to their own members there. PHOENiX going to take another fight loss here.
And PHOENiX just unable to touch the point. They got that grab, and rather they got this the Shatter, but it just completely misses. And Hong Kong Attitude still ahead here, still have ultimate advantage, even just slightly. Especially with the Ting nearly onto the Earth Shatter again. We're running out of time ever so slowly. 4 minutes now, just about remaining. PHOENiX yet to get that first tick.
And it's rough. PHOENiX are committing a lot into these fights and still just not actually getting the kills necessary. Hong Kong Attitude have just got more mileage out of every single thing they have committed.
It's about baiting out the correct ice walls as well. Look at Perfect now. What can he get? It's pretty decent.
That's such a huge one. They did get a few extra members through, so Melon survived, but now isolated on the low ground, and by the time Pixie is down there, he has already gone down, unfortunately. Another ice wall in here. These ice walls from Ho Jin Ho, they're feeling a little bit haphazard. They're often actually hurting them just as much as they're helping them. Ilsubi going to get caught out on the later part of that fight. So again, an expensive fight loss for PHOENiX.
We are seeing as well as Ho Jin Ho using the ice wall as they're rotating up the stairs so they don't take damage. But how he should probably think about using the ice walls now is as he's coming out, or as the whole team is coming out of that upward choke point that we see on the left here, they put the wall up to deny the sightline from Perfect so that Perfect himself cannot get a good ice wall. That allows PHOENiX to actually push onto the high ground and get a good team fight, because so far the team has continually split up, whether that's because of the ice wall from Perfect or because CQB booped someone off the point or off the high ground.
And I mean, you highlight a very important thing there. Credit to CQB, looking for that same kind of play again. Doesn't find it, but he knows he's got the safety net of VK's barriers. They're out. This time PHOENiX will be able to get to the point. This is the first, but Hong Kong Attitude don't mind. They layer in the Blizzard and the grab. It's a very quick, easy clean up and fight win, and for only 2 ultimates used as well.
And that's exactly the kind of combo that you want to see that can get other ultimates online. Earthshatter still available. Somewhat expensive considering that PHOENiX used nothing, but in terms of actual time, it's another almost 2 minutes since we last talked about, since we last updated the progress on that timer, and still 0 ticks. At least PHOENiX now have at least touched the point, have forced the fight on top of the point. That is some progression in terms of their rotation strategy. Hong Kong Attitude, though, are still unmoved. They are still defending so well.
Curious note here, of course, no Divas means no one can actually stop those Blizzards.
Power is disconnected.
Isolation and Earthshatter onto Pace Duel. So now the grab comes out. There's already Transcendence there from Mango Giant. They're having a hard time closing in on these kills. The Blizzard committed, but they can't do anything. Earthshatter layered on, but it's just counted out by the sound barrier. And once again, PHOENiX, very expensive, yet to get any kills for their trouble. And Hong Kong Attitude are now the ones starting to get aforementioned kills.
It's the difference here. You see the exact same combo used. Graviton Surge into a Blizzard as well. But the difference is Hong Kong Attitude had the Transcendence available. Mango Dry used it already on 44%. PHOENiX just do not have the right counters because they are behind. Hong Kong Attitude, because they are ahead, have more ults to play with, have more ults coming online. And PHOENiX are still struggling, still have not gotten a tick on the point. 1 minute just about remaining now. No more room for error. Anything else that costs them a fight will probably lose them the opportunity to finish the match.
By the way, I don't normally highlight this kind of stuff, but that was 20-player kill streak that came up on Mango Jai's screen. Has not died for that long. That's like one errant icicle could absolutely brain you as a Zenyatta. This time they survived the isolation. They're able to get once again on the point, and they've managed to pick all the point. They isolate him, but they haven't finished him off. He's actually going to take a long walk around. This is still a functional 5v6 until a Ting rejoins, but he didn't die. Now the grab is out. 1 down, VK goes down, 2 for 2 so far, but now a Ting re-entering, and suddenly it's not a 2 for 2, it's a 3 for 2. The Blizzards have come out as well, and now it's a 4 for 2, and eventually, once again, PHOENiX rebuffed. 25 seconds remain, still an Earthshatter, still, oh, that's heartbreaking.
Still a stall as well, a bit of a, late kill into Paisel, who does get staggered out, and as you're coming to the 13-second mark, you only have 5 members waiting for one more to come up, 0 ultimates on board, maybe Hojin Ho gets a Blizzard. Hong Kong Attitude, on the other hand, 2 ultimates ready to go, and likely to win the fight.
Gotta get there though, and the wall is up, and the timer runs out. They do get there just barely with Ilsubi, who immediately gets dropped. The Earthshatter plus the damage. Melon will not touch the point. That's going to be all she wrote for the defense. I mean, I've got to say, credit to PHOENiX. They got a very good cap on point A. The thing that caught them out the first time, the Doomfist, they didn't let it work the second time around, but they got fully shut out on that B.
We can see right now as well across the series here for Perfect when he's playing this Mei. PHOENiX have no answers for it. They do not know how to deal with this. They are trying their own Mei to limited success. I say limited because there are some pushes where they do correctly rotate properly onto the point. They don't lose members. But however, once they get there, they do not find the actual cap. They do not find the success. They cannot get the members down. Their combos are ineffective. Their ultimates seemingly ineffective as well. Hong Kong Attitude, though, on the other hand, very effective. Huge impact. Large team wipes. A lot of ult charge. 20 kill streak for Mango Jai, who does not die at the end of the day. Still, up until that entire defense ran out, did not die.
2-0 up in the semi-final now. Fully held on B. PHOENiX must full hold themselves on B, must force it to a draw if they want their chance at survival.
Take a look at this. I believe CQB maybe gets a boop off here. So that was the start of that really
so
unfortunate shatter. You can see how split everyone is. Just trying to get everyone together. The ball is actually very unfortunate for PHOENiX as well because it just cuts off their own members.
The thing they didn't count on in that is They went for a bash. Vendetta actually went for a shield bash so that they could connect the shatter. The shield bash does have a slight knockback, and that's actually what pushed the team off the edge and stopped anyone from being caught in the shatter.
So this is a big deal for PHOENiX now, like you sort of mentioned, the final bastion of defense. By the way, no bastion, but for PHOENiX, it is going to be Vendetta and Ho, Sombra, Doomfist. They need to try anything left that they have up their sleeves. Melon on the Hammond here as well, great for countering out a Ting who is on his own. Ryan, Perfect smelling something out though and wants to go Widow.
This was PHOENix's map pick, and I want to find out why. I want there to be something on this defense that changes everything.
Could just be a confidence thing, could just be more practice here, could just be something that they don't want to see on that Horizon map, but that's not the biggest issue right now. The thing for PHOENiX is they only really have one shot.
There it is, that's the opening gambit there. The Hag did go through, they're looking for a kill. Might be able to get Mango here, very low, but not dead yet. And Hong Kong Attitude have weathered the worst here. They've already got Po Wu, they're looking for IlSubi. They just walked right through it like PHOENiX didn't lay a trap. What is going on? Hong Kong Attitude absolutely stormed the gates. They dropped the remainder of PHOENiX on the point. That is going to be a one and done attack and cap on point A for Hong Kong Attitude. They need only get a third of B.
And the thing is, if they don't get that third, it only goes to a draw. PHOENiX do not get a point here. They do not get a map win. Hong Kong Attitude are still at match point. It just means we have an extra tiebreaker if we require it. Hong Kong Attitude, though, set to win. 6 minutes and 30 seconds. One tech is all they need, and it's going to be perfect on the McCree to close things out here. PHOENiX have only one more shot. This is it. The tournament could be over.
It's not even about winning. It's about survival. It's about surviving until you get a chance to win. And Hong Kong Attitude, like we said, only a third required. Flashbang onto Melon. Shield bash as well, but he does get out. Shylin gets away alive as well. Hong Kong Attitude taking their time.
This is it, the EMP available. This has to connect really big. Double support ultimate's nearly available as well. This is the only time.
It's a decent connection, but Mango is going to keep everyone nice and safe with that Transcendence. They all regroup onto the other high ground. Meanwhile, the tanks went forward and no one was really damaging them. Melon goes in aggressive with that minefield. Does throw a wrench in the works of Perfect. Has to spend a bit of time clearing some space for himself, but he's done so. Now PHOENiX, they've still got more ultimates to lean into, but Hong Kong Attitude, they haven't even bothered using most of theirs. They haven't quite got them up just yet. That's a really big kill though. That has started to turn the tide in favor of PHOENiX. And with that, isolating Perfect now, they might just be able to start beating back the tide and holding on against Hong Kong Attitude.
There's a lot of low members here as well for Hong Kong Attitude. Just gonna have to back off for now. Still have ultimates. So what they have done is forced a lot of response from PHOENiX, who are in a state of desperation. PHOENiX know that they can't afford to wait. They have to use things. They have to go really, really big on results, or they're not going to have another chance for the rest of the season. Hong Kong Attitude, happy to just bake those out, happy to collect their own ults, happy to be in a position where they can just one push, one win.
One big Deadeye, one big self-destruct, not even a big one. An ultimate that gets 2 kills. That could be all that. Oh,
how about Mango Dry just getting 1?
What a guy, just frags out IlSubi. There's the one from the Deadeye, and it's already begun. Po Wu's low. They are in trouble here. No one has died yet on Hong Kong Attitude.
Nearly EMP.
Po Wu is nearly down. Paisiel does not rescue the mech with that Transcendence. Flashbang on Ho to stop up the EMP. It just gets better and better for Hong Kong Attitude, and worse and worse.
This is the beginning of the end.
Self-destruct out of Melon. They're going to be able to get that one. They find IlSubi a second time in the fight. Ho has respawned, but he's not going to be long for this world. Po Wu down, Vendetta down. They've nearly got the only third they need, and with no casualties, an absolute masterclass, Hong Kong Attitude will punch their ticket for the first time in nearly 2 years to a grand final.
And in a 3-0 fashion as well, not even going to allow any resemblance of a comeback for PHOENiX, who are now going to be departing this tournament. 0-3 down, their best result as well, going into a semi-final, but could not defeat the Titans that are Hong Kong Attitude, our only remaining tournament favorites, the only team in the tournament that is immune to the upset curse. They're saying everyone else is going down to the underdog team. Not us, not today. This is our tournament.
The old guard of the Pacific region, the longest standing organization and team, and contiguous players as well. Need we remind you, as we said earlier, 4 of these players have been on this team from its start. There are teams that didn't even stay in the Pacific region for more than a single season of Contenders. 3 seasons of Contenders, 2 huge seasons of OPC, and I guarantee you they're going to be sticking around for more as well, whether or not they win that final. But in spite of all that history, in spite of all that legacy, this still stands as Hong Kong Attitude's first semi-final win and first appearance at long last in a grand final, and it is an all-home grand final for the Pacific region. 2 full Taiwanese squad, well, not quite full Taiwanese squads, but Taiwanese organizations are going to be playing off in the Pacific region. The country that kind of served as Pacific's home before it was even Pacific. I don't think we could have ended off our first run of Contender seasons in a more fitting way.
Exactly, and that sort of marks the end for a lot of these teams as well. A year worth of Contenders of Season 3 where a lot of different teams showing up here, a lot of differences in terms of what we do get to see. We've seen a lot of new countries coming in for the first time, even within what you consider to be Southeast Asia and the Pacific region. But heading into 2019 now, or the rest of 2019, I should say, with soft region locking, that means now that officially, with these wins as well, it's the Korean teams that for the first time since Radiant 1 on OPC Season 2, they will not be taking a Pacific victory here in this region.
It's a bit of, it couldn't have happened at a better time in a way, right? Like, to get booted out of the tournament right as that region lock comes in, it does feel in a way like taking back the castle, right? And stay out. There's almost this punctual full stop to it. This is our region. We play here. We win here. And there's a poetry to it all. There's a great story that persists through all of that. And I think it couldn't have been any better candidate than the oldest standing team in this region. And just because you can't make this stuff up, we did have that beautiful pair of semifinals, the 3-2 between the two teams that 3-2'd in the quarters, the 3-0 between the two teams that 3-0'd in the quarters. I don't know what that means for the grand final, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be brilliant.
You can't get a 3-0 or a 3-2 in the grand final, so
get a 4-0.
That's something you got to work with. You literally can't get either of those results. But let's go ahead and get a bit of a preview there and a bit of a recap as to how this playoffs has served us here. We saw on the quarterfinals there, Talon going down to Cyclone Couplings, the new darlings of that region, breaking their way through, who tonight went themselves down 2-3 against Nova Esports, heading into the grand finals for the first time. Nova had the road going through Global Esports Pantheon. Hong Kong Attitude, who now joined Nova in the grand finals, went through Grand Zero 3-0. PHOENiX now 3-0 as well, who PHOENiX themselves did beat Xavier in that quarterfinal. So you do start to see the differences in how those brackets shape up.
And it's so satisfying in a way that we got here. And I'll be honest, it's probably not the final we expected, or indeed even the semi-finals that we had expected. I mean, it's so many little things, right? It's Talon getting knocked out in a quarterfinal. It's the 3 upsets across those quarters. It's even Nova beating out Cyclone Coupling in their semi-final. It feels like in all of this, the only thing that's been remotely expected is Hong Kong Attitude performing well. Hong Kong Attitude not getting upset. Hong Kong Attitude making it to that semi-final. But even now, we're still in an unprecedented situation because Hong Kong Attitude have gone further than they've ever gone before. It's not like Talon, who we expected to return to the finals. This is still new ground for Hong Kong Attitude as well. As I said at the start of the series, all that veterancy, all that history, it is there. But this is still a team with their biggest achievements still ahead of them.
Yeah, certainly the case. And I want to say that's the same for Nova as well. So they have their own story coming into this year as well. Brand new team formed in Season 1, breaking through a lot of those members represent. In fact, I want to say both these teams for Hong Kong Attitude, a bunch of those members from Hong Kong represented their country for the World Cup as well, for both of the years that we've seen so far. And on the Nova side, they went ahead and represented their country, a lot of those members. So you just have this really befitting kind of final in a sort of poetic kind of way. And the fact that you have a team that has just gone in through, has been part of this upset kind of thing going through. Nova has been just barreling through teams that have higher ranks than them, higher seeding than them. And then on the other side, you have Hong Kong Attitude, who are just seemingly immune to that. You have in this sort of tournament where hard to place bets on anybody, hard to hedge your bets anywhere, except the only team you can bank on seems to be Hong Kong Attitude.
Don't want to speak too soon though, right? Because that final is still ahead of us. Yeah, so far, you're right. And now that we go into, like we said, that,
check the
that
script,
uncharted that's right. But now that we go into that uncharted territory where Hong Kong Attitude are further than they've been before, as are Nova, I mean, again, maybe we can't bet on them now, even if we could have before. And we were hesitant to because of how every other match was gone. Hong Kong Attitude, I'm sorry if it ever seemed like I doubted you. But at the end of the day, I think this final is going to be a phenomenal one. I think there's going to be a bit of a bittersweetness to it as well, because we've got these two teams that both feel so deserving in their own rights. It's bringing it home, right? And only one of them can win. One of them does go home, but for either team still, a loss in that grand final is still your best result ever. And I think, like you said, for a team like Nova, they came in at the start of 2018 Contenders Season 1, essentially an amateur team. They did not have an organization. They were not funded in any way, shape, or form. They worked part-time jobs and went to school alongside this. They have walked the path to pro. They are still walking the path to pro, and who knows how much of it is ahead of them, but they've done so with heads held high, and now they're absolutely marching forward into a grand final. Hong Kong Attitude, who have been on that path now for so much longer, maybe finally seeing a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. The achievement is right in front of both of these teams, and we'll see it all tomorrow.